Are you tired of having your family discussing politics and religion at your holiday dinners? Well, look no further because I have the perfect topic for you to bring up and interrupt that flow. Synthetic Human Rights Discussion, written by me. Some of you may be aware that I'm a transhumanist. Yes, I subscribe to the notion that we will evolve beyond our current state of being through technological advancement. I won't go so far as to claim to be an abolitionist, referring to the abolition of suffering, or an immortalist. I'm more in favor of extropianism, post-politicism, singularitarianism, and techno-Gaianism. However, as to save time, I won't go too far into the weeds on these topics. In a further effort to simplify my topic into one that we can discuss in the comment section, or hell, by video responses if you wish, I'll only address the concepts directly related to my topic. The setup. It is my belief that we will, in the middle future, start to see synthetic humanoids similar to what we've seen in the classic film Blade Runner or HBO's Westworld. However, there are some major differences. With regards to Blade Runner's replicants, the synthetic humanoids in my vision of the future will be completely synthetic, not lab-grown from organic materials. They will be fully self-aware and will not be pre-programmed towards a specific set of tasks. They will have complete free will. Keep in mind, this also means that they will not be absolutely bound by Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, because that would be in violation of said free will. They will not be wirelessly connected to a larger grid, except by the use of what standard devices already will exist by that point. As a current example, though, through mobile devices and computers. They will be able to experience the sensation of physical pain. They will be capable of understanding, experiencing, and outwardly expressing the complete range of human emotion. Similarly, this also means that they will be able to experience emotional or psychological suffering. There won't be a direct purpose to their construction, just existence for the sake of existence. As they would not have been bound into servitude to humanity, they would not develop the need, as it were, to exact their revenge and conquer biological humanity. There would also be very real limitations placed upon them by the manufacturers of the synthetic bodies, such as to further humanize them. This includes things like building their structural components out of a bone-like material, such as carbon fiber, that would fracture similarly to human bone, giving them synthetic muscular systems that would mimic the capabilities and potentials of human muscles, and limiting their neural pathways to be more akin to the human brain. Here's my most out there viewpoint. By that time, the singularity will have happened, thus allowing humans to download their consciousnesses into a digital format, which can be transferred into a purpose-built synthetic body. Of course, the body and the data would both decay eventually and experience a final death, but that would be far prolonged. The point. By this hypothetical point in the future, synthetic humans will already have been living alongside us in society for quite some time. They have jobs, drive cars, and frequent places that biological humans do. They also feel the very human need for socialization. The questions. My questions are simple. Would you acknowledge their existence as sapient beings, even though they're not biological entities? Would you befriend synthetic humans merely for the same reasons we befriend one another? Of course, this presupposes that biological humans wouldn't lean towards manipulating them for their non-human capabilities. Do you think they would deserve equal rights, or at least the same rights afforded to humans in whichever nation or region they reside in? Similarly, would this also extend to human/synthetic human relations up to and including marriage and adoption of children? And finally, would they deserve citizenship of the nation they were manufactured in? My answers. Honestly, I would answer yes to all of the above mentioned questions. My reasoning is that life shouldn't be defined by the idea that a thing goes squish when you step on it. Basically, biological existence, i.e., birth, should not presuppose sentient or sapient intelligence. There are many biological creatures on this planet alone which have neither sapience nor sentience. These things merely exist to reproduce and extend the genetic line of its kind. Do you think a brain-eating amoeba gives a shit whether it's eating a male or a female brain? Does the fungus that grows under your toenails care if you're light or dark skinned? Does the tapeworm care if it's in an Asian or European digestive tract? Now let me clarify the question regarding relationships between humans and synthetic humans. I'm not referring to some weeb marrying his body pillow or some performer marrying her Hitachi. I'm referring to the emotional bonds that keep people together. Bonus: my reasons for making this post. It's not such an odd occurrence when something like this hits my brain like a fine red brick and knocks me for an existential loop. This particular line of thought stems from a dream I had a few nights ago, which reignited my interest in transhumanist discussions. The dream was a fairly long one, with a metric assload of backstory and filler. Basically, it was a 15 minutes into the future kind of alternate reality, where things were kind of the same, but also far advanced at the same time. Think Max Headroom, Mad Max, the first one, or Johnny Mnemonic. In this dream, I played the part of a detective who's been a veteran of the force for a decade and a half, who's been with his partner for about a decade. One day, we were called to investigate activity and heat signatures from a long-abandoned factory in the middle of the industrial warrens. When we entered, we were met by a female scientist in a neutral gray lab coat. Also in the room was a large reception desk in the center and a spot to play chess complete with comfortable chairs and wooden chess sets. There was a woman seated at one of the chess boards. I could tell that the woman was a synthetic human by intuition, but my partner apparently had no idea. The scientist said, "We've been expecting you." Well, not you per se, but someone. Anyone to notice the heat signatures. I'll give you all the information you need, but first, you must play chess against Marla. She's a synthetic humanoid who has become exceedingly adept at chess over the years. I looked over at Marla, back at the scientist, then at my partner, and said, "Alright, I'm game for some chess. Gonna be a bit rusty though, haven't touched a single chess piece in years, except to move the pawns out of my way when reaching for damn near anything on my nightstand." Marla chuckled at this. My partner, however, wasn't so amused. He went on an absolute tirade about how he doesn't like synthetics and how he will never acknowledge their existence. To him, they're not worth a damn. He even went so far as to start yelling obscenities and anti-synthetic rhetoric. Marla became visibly upset by this, and the scientist was taking notes of the whole interaction. I told him to calm down and that if he couldn't maintain his composure, that he'd have to wait in the car. This further irritated him. Finally, he said, "Fine, I'm leaving," and turned away. I turned towards Marla, and as soon as I took a step forward, boom! The inside of my brain case was now public knowledge, courtesy of my partner's rage and service pistol. It turns out, though, that I was a synthetic human. Wires, silicon, bits of reinforced carbon fiber, and red-colored coolant followed the bullet through my skull. My partner had no idea that I was a synthetic human. Hell, the disturbing thing was that I had no idea either. Anyway, the dream continued for a bit and just showed the consequences of my partner's actions. He murdered the scientist and Marla and was gunned down by officers waiting outside. This sparked a larger debate which ended up deciding in favor of granting synthetic humans equal rights and citizenship. Yeah, my dreams are fucking weird, but at least they're thorough. Anyway, hey, thank you guys for watching and or reading. Full text of this entry will be available on my blog, linked in the crotch bar. And yeah, that's it for me. Happy holidays. and let's have a discussion. Seriously. Either in the comment section or, like I said, in a video response. Let's spark a debate on transhumanism.